as we grow older, especially after the age of 75, many of us believe that simply walking every day is enough to maintain our strength, mobility, and overall health. And while walking is absolutely beneficial, is no longer sufficient on its own, the body changes in profound ways as we age. Muscles shrink faster, balance becomes less stable, joints lose lubrication, and bones lose density more rapidly. That means the activities that once kept us healthy in our 50s or 60s are no longer strong enough to protect us in our late 70s and beyond. The truth is, after 75, the biggest threat isn't just disease, it's muscle loss and falls. The body naturally loses up to one set of muscle every year, and after 75, that rate doubles. That is why people who feel perfectly fine one year can suddenly feel weaker, slower, or more unstable the next. Walking alone does not challenge the muscles that protect your hips, knees, spine, or core. It does not strengthen the fibers that prevent falls or help you stand up from a chair without effort. And it certainly does not rebuild the muscles that keep your metabolism strong. So what should you be doing instead? You must add strength training, even if it is gentle, slow, and adapted to your ability. Strength training does not mean lifting heavy weights in a gym. It means giving your muscles resistance, something to push, pull, or lift so they can grow, repair, and stay active. A simple set of chair squats, resistance band pulls, wall push-ups, or light dumbbell lifts can make a massive difference. Even 10 minutes a day builds strength in ways walking simply cannot. But it's not only about strength. After 75, you also need balance training. Practicing standing on one leg, shifting weight slowly, or doing heel-to-toe exercises trains your brain and muscles to work together. This prevents dangerous falls, which are one of the leading causes of disability in older adults. And finally, mobility work, gentle stretching, joint circles, or slow movements keeps the joints flexible and nourished. This reduces stiffness and helps improve posture, circulation, and back health. The goal is not perfection. The goal is independence. The goal is being able to get out of bed easily, lift groceries, walk without fear, and enjoy life without restriction. Your body still responds to training, even at 75, 85, or 95. It is never too late, but walking alone is not enough. Your muscles need more. Your balance needs more. And you deserve more. So start today with the smallest movement, the lightest weight, or the simplest exercise. Every repetition is an investment in your future strength. Every day you choose to train is a day you choose independence, confidence, and vitality. Walking keeps you moving, but strength training keeps you living fully. Walking has long been seen as the simplest and most reliable form of exercise, especially as we age. It keeps the heart active, supports circulation, helps maintain mobility, but after the age of 75, the body undergoes changes that walking alone can no longer address. Muscles shrink faster, bones become more fragile, balance weakens, and the joints lose much of their natural lubrication. This means that even if someone is committed to walking every single day, it may not prevent the decline in strength and stability that naturally accelerates with age. What many people don't realize is that walking only uses a limited range of muscles and mostly at a low intensity. It doesn't challenge the deeper stabilizing muscles. It doesn't build bone density, and it doesn't retrain the body's ability to balance and react quickly. So while walking is still a wonderful habit, it is not enough to maintain the functional strength needed to stay independent after 75. At this age, the biggest enemy is not just disease, it's muscle loss. The muscles that help with standing up, climbing stairs, lifting objects, or catching oneself during a slip begin to weaken at a much faster rate. This process, known as sarcopenia, happens to everyone, but it becomes significantly more dramatic after 75. Someone may notice that getting out of a chair becomes harder, carrying groceries feels heavier, or their legs feel shaky after just a few steps. These are signs that the body needs a different kind of stimulus, something that walking simply cannot provide. That is where strength training comes in. Strength training doesn't mean lifting heavy weights or doing anything strenuous. It can be as simple as pushing against a wall, lifting a light dumbbell, using resistance bands, or doing slow chair squats. What matters is that the muscles face resistance, so they have a reason to grow and stay strong. Even 10 minutes a day can help rebuild strength, protect the joints, and make everyday movements easier. Balance is another crucial part of staying healthy past 75. Falls are one of the leading causes of injury and long-term disability in older adults. And the sad truth is that most falls happen not because someone is weak, but because their balance is untrained. Walking does not deeply challenge the balance system. The brain, the inner ear, and the small stabilizing muscles of the feet and legs must all work together, and this coordination needs regular training. Simple balance exercises, such as standing on one leg, walking heel to toe, or shifting weight from side to side, can dramatically reduce the risk of falls. These exercises teach the body how to react quickly when a step is missed, when the floor is uneven, or when a slip happens unexpectedly. Mobility work is equally important. The joints become stiffer with age and the connective tissues lose elasticity. Stretching, slow joint rotations, gentle yoga-style movements, and deep breathing can help keep the joints flexible and nourished. Mobility exercises also improve posture, which helps reduce back pain and enhances breathing. The combination of strength training, balance practice, and mobility exercises creates a powerful foundation for independence. It helps older adults maintain confidence, move without fear, and preserve the ability to enjoy life on their own terms. Even late in life, the body responds to training. It is never too late to start, and every small effort makes a meaningful difference in long-term health and quality of life. After the age of 75, the conversation around health can no longer revolve around the basics. The body changes too quickly, and the strategies that worked for decades lose their effectiveness. Many people who rely mainly on walking believe they are doing enough to stay strong, but the truth is far more complex. Walking, while beneficial for circulation and joint movement, does not address the deep loss of muscle mass that becomes more severe with age. The legs, hips, core, and back gradually weaken, which affects everything from balance to posture to the ability to perform everyday tasks. Someone may walk daily yet struggle to get out of a chair, lift themselves from a low couch, or carry a small bag of groceries. This disconnect happens because walking provides motion but not strength. The body requires resistance, something to push, pull, or lift to maintain muscle tissue that naturally declines at a rapid pace past 75. This is why incorporating strength-based movements becomes essential, not optional. Light exercises such as chair squats, gentle resistance band pulls, or lifting small hand weights can activate muscles that walking barely touches. For example, the glutes and quadriceps, critical for stability and movement, only work at a low level during walking, but they become significantly engaged when performing a squat or even controlled sitting and standing from a chair. Strengthening these muscles not only improves mobility but also protects the joints by reducing stress on the knees and lower back. Many older adults underestimate how quickly the body responds to even small increases in resistance. Within weeks, they may notice improved stamina, better posture, and more confidence in movement simply because the muscles have been reminded of their purpose. Another important area often ignored is reactive balance. After 75, the body's ability to respond to sudden changes like slipping, tripping, or stepping on uneven ground slows dramatically. This slowdown is not just physical, it also happens in the nervous system. Walking does not challenge this reflex system, which is why falls often occur in individuals who otherwise appear active. To train balance, the body needs small controlled challenges, slow side to side stepping, heel to toe walking, or shifting weight while standing all strengthen the connection between the brain and the muscles. These moments of controlled instability teach the body how to recover more effectively during real life situations. With practice, a person who once felt nervous on stairs or uneven surfaces begins to feel steadier and more capable. Mobility work ties everything together. Stiffness becomes more pronounced at older ages because the joints produce less synovial fluid, the natural lubricant that keeps them moving smoothly. Gentle stretching and joint rotations can help keep the connective tissues flexible and reduce the likelihood of pain during movement. Simple routines focusing on the neck, shoulders, hips, and ankles can restore range of motion, making walking, standing, and even sleeping more comfortable. When strength, balance, and mobility exercises are combined, they create a protective layer that walking alone cannot provide. Together, they improve independence, reduce injury risk, and enhance quality of life. At 75 and beyond, the goal isn't extreme fitness. It's staying capable, confident, and resilient through intentional, consistent movement that supports the entire body. The later years of life bring a level of physical change that cannot be ignored, and understanding these changes becomes essential for maintaining independence and strength. After 75, the body naturally loses muscle at a rate that surprises many people, even those who believe they are active and healthy. This decline isn't something that walking alone can reverse. Walking is excellent for the heart and for keeping the joints moving, but it does not engage the deeper muscle fibers responsible for stability and power. This is why someone may walk every day yet still feel weak when climbing stairs or find it difficult to rise from a seated position without using their hands. These are early signs that the supportive muscles of the hips, thighs, and core are no longer being challenged enough to grow or maintain their strength. As aging accelerates, the body also begins to lose its ability to stabilize itself quickly. This is why slips, stumbles, and falls become more common in older adults. Even among those who can walk long distances, balance is a skill that must be trained deliberately. When balance is not practiced, the nervous system becomes slower at detecting shifts in body weight or changes in ground texture. A single unexpected moment, stepping on a small object, turning too quickly, or walking on an uneven surface can lead to a fall. These falls are not minor incidents. They can change the course of someone's health permanently. Training balance through simple exercises like shifting weight, standing on one leg, or walking slowly in a straight line helps retrain the body's ability to react quickly. These exercises may seem small, but their impact on safety and confidence is enormous. Strength training, even when performed gently, plays a major role in protecting the body as it ages. Many older adults fear that lifting weights may be too strenuous or unsafe. In reality, strength training can be tailored to the lightest, most manageable level and still produce meaningful benefits. A simple movement like a wall push-up activates the arms, chest, and core. A slow squat to a chair builds leg strength and stabilizes the hips. Using a resistance band to pull backward strengthens the upper back and improves posture, which often declines with age due to weakening spinal support. These basic exercises not only rebuild lost muscle, but also stimulate bone density, reducing the risk of fractures. Mobility training is the final piece that enhances overall movement. With age, the joints become stiff and the surrounding tissues tighten. This stiffness makes everyday tasks harder and increases the risk of strains. Gentle stretching, controlled joint circles, and slow bending exercises help keep the body flexible. When mobility improves, walking becomes smoother, balance becomes easier, and pain decreases. It also allows strength and balance training to be more effective because the joints can move the way they are meant to. Combining these areas, strength, balance, and mobility, creates a comprehensive approach to aging that walking alone cannot accomplish. These exercises do not need to be intense or long. What matters most is consistency and intention. The goal is to maintain independence, protect the body, and continue living with confidence and capability. Even late in life, the body responds to effort, and every small action contributes to a stronger future. As the body ages beyond 75, the systems that once worked effortlessly begin to require more deliberate care, and the movements that were once enough to stay strong no longer meet the body's demands. Many people assume that walking every day is a complete solution to aging, but what often goes unnoticed is how limited walking becomes at this stage of life. While it keeps the heart active and helps maintain circulation, it does not stop the accelerated loss of strength, flexibility, and balance that naturally comes with age. Someone might walk for an hour daily and still find themselves struggling to lift their legs, feeling unsteady when turning, or noticing that their posture has become more stooped than before. These subtle changes are the body's signals that walking alone is not giving it the challenge it needs to stay resilient. When you reach 75, muscle loss can happen much more rapidly. This loss affects the thighs, hips, back, and core, muscles that are essential for standing upright, climbing stairs, and protecting the joints. Without resistance training, these muscles weaken to the point where even simple daily activities can feel like a chore. It becomes harder to rise from a low seat, to step onto a curb, or to maintain balance while carrying something. Strength training brings back what walking cannot offer: the ability to build and maintain muscle through controlled resistance. Even gentle strength exercises can help muscles grow, stabilize the joints, and improve overall functional movement. This is not about lifting heavy weights, but about working the muscles with intention. Slow, careful motion that signals the body to maintain strength. Strength training acts like a protective shield against frailty. Another area that requires attention is the body's balance system. Aging slows reaction time, weakens the tiny stabilizing muscles of the feet and ankles, and decreases the brain's ability to coordinate quick adjustments. Walking does not challenge these systems enough to keep them sharp. Falls often happen in a split second. A foot catches on a rug, a turn is made too quickly, or the ground is uneven. Without balance training, the body is not prepared to recover. Simple exercises like standing with feet close together, performing slow side steps, or lifting one foot off the ground for a few seconds can dramatically improve stability. These exercises help retrain the brain, muscle connection, giving older adults the ability to regain control in unexpected situations. Mobility is equally important and often neglected. With age, the joints stiffen, the spine compresses, and the muscles tighten from lack of stretching. This stiffness affects not only movement, but also breathing posture and overall comfort. Gentle stretching routines, deep breathing, and slow joint rotations keep the body fluid and reduce discomfort. When mobility improves, walking becomes less tiring and strength exercises become safer and more effective. When strength, balance, and mobility are intentionally combined, they create a foundation that allows someone over 75 not just to move, but to thrive. Independence becomes easier to maintain, daily tasks feel more manageable, and the risk of injury is significantly reduced. Even small daily efforts accumulate into meaningful improvements. The body, no matter the age, can adapt and grow stronger when given the right kind of movement. After the age of 75, maintaining physical strength and mobility becomes a daily responsibility rather than something the body can manage on its own. Many older adults continue walking because it feels familiar, simple, and comfortable, but comfort is not always what the body needs. At this stage of life, comfort can actually allow weakness to grow silently. The muscles that once responded powerfully to daily movement now require targeted activation, and walking, while helpful, no longer provides that stimulation. This is why many individuals notice a decline in stability, strength, and energy even though they have stayed active through walking. The truth is that the aging body needs specific types of training to preserve independence, and these types of movement are often the very activities people avoid out of fear or uncertainty. Strength training becomes a critical component of healthy aging because it restores power to the muscles responsible for everyday function. These muscles support the spine, elevate the body from seated positions, protect the joints, and absorb impact during movement. Without resistance, these muscles shrink and lose the ability to react quickly. Strength training doesn't mean strenuous workouts or heavy weights. It can be as simple as pushing against a wall, lifting lightweight objects, or slowly rising and sitting from a chair repeatedly. Each of these movements sends a signal to the muscles that they are still needed and must remain active. Over time, this type of training reverses weakness, improves posture, and enhances stability. It even boosts metabolism and supports overall energy levels, helping older adults feel more capable and vibrant. Balance, another essential skill, also declines with age but can be improved significantly with practice. Many people believe balance fades because of weak legs, but it actually weakens because the connection between the brain, nerves, and stabilizing muscles becomes slower. Walking does not challenge this system, which is why individuals who walk daily may still feel unsteady when turning, stepping sideways, or navigating uneven ground. Practicing balance exercises like standing with one foot slightly in front of the other or shifting weight slowly from side to side reawakens these critical pathways. With consistent practice, the body learns how to respond with greater precision and speed. This reduces the likelihood of falls, which are one of the most serious risks for older adults. A single fall can lead to a long recovery or loss of independence. So training balance becomes just as important as training strength. Mobility work completes the trio of essential exercises. Mobility is more than stretching. It is about teaching the joints to move smoothly and freely. With age, the tissues around the joints tighten and natural lubrication decreases, making movement stiff and uncomfortable. Gentle mobility exercises like controlled arm circles, hip rotations, ankle rolls, or slow bending movements help restore the ease of motion that many older adults miss. When mobility improves, everyday tasks like climbing stairs, bending over, or turning become more manageable and less painful. It also makes strength and balance exercises safer and more effective. Combining strength, balance, and mobility training creates a comprehensive approach that supports the aging body far better than walking alone. These exercises work together to improve stability, confidence, and independence. They help older adults continue doing the things they love, cooking, gardening, traveling, or simply enjoying time with family without feeling limited by their bodies. Even small, consistent efforts can bring remarkable results. The body remains trainable and responsive no matter the age, as long as the right type of movement is introduced with care and consistency. After the age of 75, one of the most important truths to understand is that the body still has the ability to grow stronger, but it requires a different kind of attention than it did decades earlier. Relying only on walking at this stage creates a false sense of security because walking feels active, yet it does not address the deeper weaknesses that age quietly brings. Many older adults who walk daily believe they are doing everything right, only to find themselves struggling with tasks that once felt effortless, standing up from a low chair, climbing a few steps, maintaining balance while turning, or carrying light groceries. These are not signs of laziness or lack of discipline. They are signs that the muscles, joints, and balance systems require more targeted training. The body is incredibly smart, and when it senses that it is not being challenged, it begins to conserve energy by reducing muscle mass. This becomes even more pronounced after 75. Strength training, balance exercises, and mobility work become far more important than simply counting steps. Strength training gives the body the resistance it needs to maintain muscle mass, which is essential for protecting the bones and supporting the joints. Many older adults worry that strength training will be too difficult, but in reality, strength training is one of the most adaptable forms of movement. It can be done gently, slowly, and without any heavy weights. Using a chair, a wall, or a simple resistance band can be enough to reactivate muscles that have been under-used. Even slow, deliberate movements, like pressing the palms against a wall or lifting a light object repeatedly, signal the muscles to grow stronger. With consistent practice, these exercises make standing, walking, lifting, and bending feel easier and more controlled. Strength training also helps reduce joint pain by improving the support system around the knees, hips, and spine. Balance training becomes critical for safety and confidence. One of the biggest fears among older adults is the fear of falling, and with good reason. Falls become more dangerous with age, often causing injuries that require long recovery periods. But the good news is that balance can be trained. The body improves its ability to stabilize when given small, controlled challenges. Practicing standing with feet together, shifting weight, stepping sideways, or lifting one foot slightly off the ground, all these movements help the body learn how to recover quickly when it is thrown off balance. These exercises strengthen the ankles, feet, and core muscles that walking does not engage deeply. With improved balance, older adults feel more secure on uneven ground, more confident climbing stairs, and less anxious moving around the home. Mobility work completes the foundation by ensuring the joints remain flexible and well lubricated. Aging often brings stiffness not because the body is incapable, but because the joints and connective tissues are not being moved through their full range. Gentle stretching and fluid movements keep the joints nourished and reduce discomfort. Mobility exercises also help improve posture, which is important for breathing, digestion, and stability. When strength, balance, and mobility training are combined, they create a powerful system that allows someone over 75 not just to move, but to live fully. These practices make each day easier, help prevent injuries, and support long-term independence. The body continues to respond, adapt, and grow no matter the age, as long as the right movements are introduced with consistency and care. Here is your ending speech in the same style: smooth, powerful, and aligned with the rest of your script. In the end, what matters most is not how far you can walk, but how strongly, confidently, and safely you can move through your daily life. Aging does not mean surrendering your independence or accepting weakness as your destiny. The body may change, but it never stops responding to care, effort, and consistency. Even after 75, strength can be rebuilt, balance can be sharpened, and mobility can be restored. Every small exercise, every intentional movement, and every moment you choose to challenge your body becomes an investment in your future. Walking will always have its place, but it cannot carry the full responsibility of protecting your muscles, your joints, and your stability. That requires strength training to rebuild power, balance exercises to protect against falls, and mobility work to keep your joints fluid and comfortable. These practices are not about perfection or pushing your body beyond its limits. They are about giving yourself the tools to remain independent, active, and capable for as long as possible. You deserve to feel strong. You deserve to move without fear. You deserve a life filled with confidence, stability, and ease. And the path to that life begins with simple, consistent actions that honor your body and give it what it truly needs. No matter your age, your journey is not over. You still have strength left to build, skills left to sharpen, and moments left to enjoy. Start today, stay consistent, and allow your body the chance to become stronger than you ever expected at this stage of life.